What's up there YouTube, my name is Dan from Fusion's Extra and today we're back with another What If. This What If is what if fusion was permanent. And as for the fusion I'm actually going to be talking about, this one's going to be a bit more fanficky than anything else, but the one I'm actually going to be talking about here is that of Gohanks. And I think this one would kind of be perfect for this situation. And instead of explaining it, I'm going to either remember to put something in the description or as a pinned comment explaining why I chose this fusion out of everything else. So, time for the backstory. After Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Krillin, Roshi, Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu are killed and go to the other world, they are allowed to keep their bodies, even the likes of Vegeta, since his death was for him sacrificing himself to try and slow them down so his family could escape, and in turn kind of saving a city in the process. During the lead up to age 780, Goku trains throughout the other world, meeting many fighters and even two Metamorians, as they fight Goku and they are beat by him in Super Saiyan Grade 4, since he has mastered it in about age 70, as well as Vegeta. Goku is then beaten by the fusion, and then has an idea. He asks them if he could possibly teach it to that of his son, since it would help them save their home. After 6 long weeks, they agree to help, and they head to King Kai's planet, where fortune teller Baba is waiting. As they arrive, Gohan and Trunks have started training, and they both hear a voice in their head. "Hello there, this is King Kai." Why did King Kai sound like Cartman? But never mind. "Hold for a blaz." They are quiet. King Kai coughs. "Kid, your dad wants to talk to you." As Goku begins to speak. "Now, listen, Gohan. There are 2 people I want you to listen to. This might be able to way for you to beat the androids." As the Metamorians start to talk and explain the fusion dance, and they tell them they can see them through this fortune teller's ball. As they explain how it works, and they start practicing not doing the chant to initiate the fusion. And after about 2 hours they were able to perform it without any fails. As they then hear an explosion in the background and ask how to perform it properly, they tell them to say the word fusion as they are winding up to it, but don't say it backwards. And as another explosion goes off, all they hear is "say it backwards." So they begin. No is they fuse together, and Gohanks is born. He looks at himself, feeling his new strength. He smiles and heads directly for the androids. The Metamorians wondering, did he just say it backwards? But the power they can feel in the other world. This power of the fusion is immense. As they appear in front of the 2 androids, knocking a blast away from a group of people, who he looks behind and smiles, and we see some familiar faces, a older Videl and a Hercule. 17 and 18 ask who this new man is. He tells them that he is the fusion of Gohan and Trunks. "I am Gohanks, your destroyer." As he then charges, kicking 17 full force in the chest, sending him about a mile away, as he then grabs 18 by her face, dragging her through the ground, throwing her towards 17. As the spectators watch, surprised, as the fighter vanishes out of their sight. As the fighters in the afterworld watch, not understanding the strength, even the Metamorians are surprised that the strength of the rival boost is this strong, and they have yet to power up to Super Saiyan. As they tell them that they only have 30 minutes to do that, so don't forget. So Gohanks powers up to Super Saiyan, and the ground cracks, the air crackles with power, and the 2 androids are terrified. As they try to run away, Gohanks puts his hand out in front of him and creates that of a keyblade, representing something more of the sword he would normally wield, throwing them both in the air, and then letting out a burning Masenko. As the two are destroyed, he powers down, leaving before he would defuse to the spot where he was training at. He waits about 40 minutes and realizes he isn't defusing. He asks if they can still hear him. It's been 30 minutes and he still hasn't defused. It might be different on Earth time. He waits an hour, and nothing. He then asks why he isn't defusing, and his voice, instead of being the two, has become one. But his thoughts are still separate, and the combination of the two personalities, tastes, everything is different. They ask him what he did, and he tells them exactly everything he did. They perform the dance, they said it backwards like they told him to, but they tell him that they said not to say it backwards, and the fusion is now permanent. Thoughts start running through his mind. How is he going to tell Chi-Chi and Bulma? And then he realizes the one thing that could work. Blame Goku. And it works. He heads to Chi-Chi and Ox King, who are surprised at this mysterious fighter landing in front of them. He tells them everything. Chi-Chi is shocked and kind of faints slightly, but is able to pick herself back up. And he explains that it's all Goku's fault. And they head to Bulma. As Chi-Chi wants to come, she calls the Nimbus and heads to Capsule Corp. They tell Bulma, and Bulma remembers exactly what Goku was like and accepts it wholeheartedly. Now, over the next year, Bulma continues to work on the Time Machine project. Since the world's no longer in peril, she can do it a lot more quicker. Gohanks travels back in time and arrives on the day Frieza is getting to Earth. And he creates a galactic donut. This is more the Trunks side of everything else, capturing all the soldiers and killing them with a keyblade. He creates, putting them all down. As he walks in front of Frieza, puts his hand out and obliterates him. He then looks at King Cold, smiles, and tells him to transform so he can at least have a decent fight. As King Cold straight up transforms into his final stage. As Gohanks enters Super Saiyan, the two begin to fight, but Gohanks has the upper hand. Because in the year of wait for the Time Machine, he has mastered the likes of Super Saiyan and has started to tap into the power of Super Saiyan 2. He's just not quite there yet. As this fight is going on, King Cold does not stand a chance, as he kicks him straight up into the sky and wipes him out with a burning Masenko. He then powers down and lands in front of the gang, and the gang he tells them to follow him. As they get to where they go, he throws down a fridge of food and drinks and tells them that Goku should arrive in 3 hours. Vegeta asks who he is. He tells Vegeta that his name isn't important, but it does shoot him a look that sends a shiver down his spine. Since they are there socializing for about 3 hours when Vegeta speaks up bored and asks how strong this kid actually is. Since he's bored, he tells him that who he actually is. He is from the future, where they are all dead. And if he wants to test his strength, he can. And Vegeta wants to. Vegeta throws a punch, and Gohanks doesn't even bother dodging. As it makes contact with his chest, he doesn't budge. He doesn't move. It's like hitting a brick wall, but harder. As he then sweep kicks Vegeta's feet, and with one strike sends him flying into a mountain. He then feels Goku entering the atmosphere, and tells Krillin to give the princess Senzu Bean, which he does, and Vegeta is healed. Goku lands, and Gohan tells him everything. That he is from the future, dates, times the androids attack. He then hands Goku the heart medicine, and tells him that he will take this or he will die. And this time, I think Goku will, because the look he shoots him is one of concern and one of a tad bit of fear, as he looks at Vegeta and tells him to let go of his pride, because it means nothing when he is dead. He tells Gohan to do the same. Either fight or don't. There is no middle ground. as they set back off, and he heads back to the future, telling them that he might return in 3 years' time. During the 3 years, Gohanks is able to achieve Super Saiyan Grade 2, and able to use it in such a way that he kind of perfects it. As he heads back, he watches them as they defeat that of Dr. Gero and 19, who go to activate 17 and 18, and is successful. 16 is also activated. They leave after Goku is able to escape from 16. They then head to the lookout, since they didn't know what to do, where Gohanks is waiting for them. Vegeta asks why is he here and didn't go to help them. He tells them that he didn't think they needed the help, and he needed to talk to Kami anyway. He doesn't really like this, and when they tell him about 16, he didn't know anything about a android 16. Kami does recommend that they use the Room of Spirit and Time if they want to train to get stronger. And as they're discussing what to do, Gohan brings up a pretty smart point that was never discussed in the original timeline, was why don't they just go to Capsule Corp to get a few extra years of food? And after they all think of this, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta decide to do so all three of them can go in the time chamber at the same time. As they arrive at Capsule Corp, Bulma tells Gohanks about the second time machine. Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta head into the time chamber as Gohanks and Bulma head to the second time machine. As they are heading there, Bulma asks if he is related to Gohan and Trunks. Gohanks smiles and tells her yes and no, that he is Gohan and Trunks. The two fused, and it became permanent because Goku made a mistake in teaching them. And Bulma 100% understands this as well, since she knows how Goku can be. Upon arriving at the time machine, Gohanks looks at it and realizes that this isn't his time machine, especially since it has the word hope written on it. Because I'm going to go with a different type of future cell here. This is the future cell that was originally meant to be in this timeline. And I might go into reasons for that later. But they realize it, and Gohanks puts this time machine in a capsule, and they then find a large shell and head to the lookout. Upon arriving, Goku and Gohan and Vegeta are leaving the time chamber. Gohanks has just finished a bit of training with Kami, learning a few new techniques, and Kami and Piccolo fuse. Afterwards, they discuss on what to do when they sense a massive power level. They head towards it, and they find that of a perfect cell. Upon arriving, seeing perfect cell, laughing over 16, as Gohanks kicks him aside, grabbing 16 and flying him out of there. Now, in base, he is stronger than Super Saiyan Grade 4 Goku. During this arc, Gohanks then tells those three if they want to fight this one, he can. And the three begin to fight, with Gohan choosing to embrace his Saiyan nature here. As the three begin to beat on Cell, he eventually spits up 17 and 18. As he threatens to blow himself up on this planet, Gohanks then grabs his tail, not even hesitating, throwing him up in the air, entering Super Saiyan 2, and letting out a super heat drum, killing Cell completely, including his nucleus. As everyone is surprised to see a different form from normal Super Saiyan, he tells them what it is. He tells them that all they need to do is just tap in to that type of power. As Goku heads to Namek and gets Dende, Gohanks gets a handful of sensu beans and a few capsules from Bulma, as in this might help the future. As Vegeta realizes who Gohanks actually is, and Gohanks tells him everything. Well, tells them all everything. He then tells them that if they ever need his help, he'll come back, but there's highly unlikely he ever will. As he then sets off back to the future. And that's where I'm going to end this what if off. Now, I know it was a bit rocky in some places, mainly due to the fact that I noticed there was quite a lot of mistakes in the script, and I couldn't be able to edit them during the recording. So I tried to make the best I currently could. But until the next video, look left, look right, and where's the music?
Where's the music?